Hello people, hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Minalkhona. In the previous video, we have seen how to create a company on tallyprime. So today we are going to explore the features. Now, when you had created the company, the very next dialog box which you have seen is the features, right? Now, how do I go back to that dialog box of features? So I have two options. One is a shortcut, which is F11. So I can click on F11, which will give me the screen of features. If you're creating a company for the first time, you will directly get this dialog box. And otherwise F11 is the shortcut. And my second option is on the gateway of Tally. If I click on Alt K, and here I can see features. So I have two options, right? Now, when you see features, here you're seeing very few features which are already on. I can see maintain accounts, enable bill-wise entry so that I can adjust every transaction bill to bill. So that is bill-wise entry. Maintain inventory. If you are in an industry, if you are in a business dealing in goods, in that case, I'll require inventory option. I can keep that on. Enable GST. Now, if you are registered in GST, I'll have to say yes. So this is one of the options, features, which you will have to implement. So if I say a yes to GST, let's see, it is asking for state. Now, automatically my system has taken Maharashtra. Now, whichever state you belong to, you must, while creating the company, you must have feed it in some state, right? The same state in your address has been picked by the system here. So I had taken Maharashtra, and therefore here you can see Maharashtra. Registration type. Now, what kind of registration type do you have in GST? Do you have regular registration, or are you registered as a composition dealer? So here I'm going to take regular. Assessee of other territory. No, you do not belong to other territory. That's the assumption I'm taking right now. GST applicable from. Now I have created this company implementation from 1st April 2022, meaning my books I'm starting to write from 1st April 2022, and my financial year is also beginning from 1st April 2022. And therefore my GST applicability would be from the day I am going to start writing my books of accounts. That is 1st April 2022. Now, GSTIN, that is Goods and Services Tax Identification Number, or UIN, Unique Identification Number. So if you are registered under GST as a regular assessee, you would have a GSTIN. So the GSTIN which I am going to put in is, GST number is always 15 digits. The first two are the state code. The next 10 digits which you are seeing is the PAN number, and last three are utility codes. So GST number is always 15 alphanumerical number. Periodicity of GSTR. So it can either be monthly or quarterly. If your turnover is up to 5 crores, in that case, your periodicity of GSTR1 would be, or can be, you can opt for quarterly returns and otherwise monthly. Set alter GST rate details. We are saying a no here. As we go further, we are going to explore how do you create ledgers, how do you create a stock, how do you create service ledgers. So there are other places wherein, or better places wherein I can feed in my GST rate details. So I do not want to feed in the rate details here, and therefore I'm keeping it as no. Enable tax liability on advance receipts. Now, if you are in a service industry and if you receive advance if you have a business practice of receiving advance, in that case, in services, it is compulsory to pay GST on advances received. But in the goods industry, on the goods, it is not compulsory, it is not mandatory. Here, the business which I'm going to assume right now is a business of supply of goods. And therefore, I'm keeping enable tax liability on advances received as no. Enable tax liability on reverse charge. We are going to discuss this further, but for now, we are going to say yes, reverse charge mechanism will apply here, and we are going to say yes. Enables GST classifications. So I can say a yes here. As we go forward and as we start recording transactions and creating ledgers, we'll understand classifications a little better. Provide LUT or bond details, letter of undertaking or bond details. If you are in a business of imports and export, in that scenario, you will require this option of letter of undertaking and bond. So I do not have that requirement, and therefore I'm keeping it as no. E-way bill applicable. Now, in Maharashtra, the limit for e-way bill is above 1 lakh rupees. If the invoice value is about exceeding 1 lakh rupees, in that case, electronic way bill needs to be generated compulsorily. Now, every state has different limits. As per the GST Act, the limit is 50,000, but different states have changed the limit to 1 lakh, like Maharashtra. Maharashtra has changed the limit to 1 lakh. So I'm going to say yes, applicable from 1st April 2022. It always applies on invoice value, and threshold limit I'm going to say is 1 lakh. Right. Print e-way bill with invoice. So for time being, I do not require that. Practically, possibly, I may require that, and I would say a yes. E-invoicing applicable. E-invoicing, later in some video, we will discuss more about e-invoicing. For now, if your turnover is above 10 crores, e-invoicing is compulsory. And from 1st Jan 2023, if your turnover is above 5 crores, e-invoicing would be compulsory. Right, that notification is already out, and you can check that out. And in this way, I have completed my GST features. Enable TDS. So if I say a yes to TDS, I can explore and I'll have to write more details related to TDS. So that is if you have an applicability of deducting TDS, what is your TAN registration number? So here I'll have to give a TAN registration number. TAN registration number is 4 alphabets, 5 numbers, 1 alphabet. That is again alphanumerical. Deductor type. So as a deductor type, what are you? Are you a company, individual, or HUF? So we have assumed to be a company, and therefore I'm saying a company. Deductor branch. So branch would be Mumbai. Set alter details of person responsible. In TDS deductor details, you need to state one person as a person responsible to deduct TDS. So if I'm saying this is a company, my person responsible here would be a director. So in here, I would give the details of the director. Right. All right. So in this way, I have completed the basic features required to start my company, ledger creation, group creation, and go ahead with transactions. All right. So in the next session, we are going to see how do we create groups, what is the importance of groups, and how do we go ahead with ledgers, and the importance of ledgers and groups with respect to GST. That is what we are going to emphasize on. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.